All right. Welcome to the last Man Event live show of 2020. I am B-Love here with the Chief, and it is just the two of us tonight as Pooh Bear and TSG. I guess they're still enjoying the Christmas break. We do have two special guests tonight, though. We're going to bring on a little bit later, and we're going to talk end of the year purchases and some New Year's resolutions. There will be Buccaneers football, our faves of 2020. And when we come out of this bumper, we're going to kick this show off right. We are going to kick this show off with the start of the first week of the NBA season. This is the Man. All right, Chief, wait, I was going to ask what you thought about the first week of the – I was just kidding, man. Hey, dude, I need you to come back. I can't do this with just me. I was just kidding.
NBA. This is the point of having these guys.
I was just
All right,
kidding.
I'm back. Hey, how come I didn't know about this vacation program that we have? How many vacation days do we get? And who
I
approved
don't know. I don't know. They're getting used up, though.
Oh, they are.
They're getting used up. Well, interesting. We got an interesting day lined up, but I think it'll still be fun. I'm used to carrying Pooh Bear and TSG. I don't know about you, so this shouldn't be too hard.
I'm just glad I get a chance to talk today.
You're just glad you get to talk?
Yeah, I get a word in here. So where do we want to start? You want to start with our favorite episode of 20? I'm glad to see this year getting away from us, by the way. But
man, I had all things considered, I had a really good 2020.
Well, honestly, my 2020 wasn't terrible. We did get a couple things canceled on us. We had a couple trips that the one trip for sure that we were supposed to do in the spring that got canceled, and then being quarantined wasn't a lot of fun.
No.
But yeah, but what about this thing, man? We've been doing this since March. What was your favorite episode?
Man, my favorite episode, I'm going to go with a short. My favorite short was Steak Day.
Okay.
And for two reasons. Two reasons. They should be pretty obvious to everybody. One is we got to eat steak.
Yes.
Right?
It wasn't a bad steak on that grill.
No. And two is I won.
Oh, here we go. Yeah, she did. 2020 Steak Day champion. You got it. Yes, sir. Yeah.
So, yeah, I think that was my favorite one. But a single episode, like a live show, I don't know, man. Here's the thing about the live shows, and this is what I love about it. And really, when you think about the whole reason we started this, well, part of it was COVID quarantine, right? We started this back in March. We were all on quarantine. But, the idea of it was just a couple of guys who get together on a regular basis and talk about things that are going on. A lot of sports, but a lot of life. And we just decided, like, hey, it would be pretty fun if other people got to hang around us.
Yeah, why not?
I know that sounds a little vain, but not really. But that's where it came from, and that's what we're still doing.
Yeah, just invited people to come along, First of all, Steak Day, I felt a little jilted on that one because I thought there was some funny stuff in there that got stuck in the bloopers. I'm running around back and forth. I was like, hey, that got stuck in the blooper section. And okay.
Listen, one of my favorite parts of Steak Day, and this is why you should always have a camera running, was when we were all just sitting around and the canopies blew over. They just take off like kites.
The kicker, that's the second time in our lives that's happened to us.
Yes, this time it didn't cost us any money, though.
No, it didn't. Thank goodness. That's a story for another time, though. Okay. Hey, so I have two favorites I'll talk about for just a second. My favorite short was boot camp day. We go to boot camp. I still feel the concept is just a hilarious concept. I don't really. That was like our second or third short, and we didn't really pull it off. Up here.
So here's the thing about boot camp day, and I'm with you. Is if our boot camp was a reality TV show,
okay,
people would love it.
Oh, absolutely. We have T-shirts now.
I know, but we do have T-shirts. And the thing about it is, I think that's the spirit of what we were trying to catch in boot camp day. Is if there was like a camera crew there just hanging out with us,
right?
What would be some of the funny stuff that they would catch? And I tell you what, I'm looking at boot camp. One of our guests today is going to be Ashley, and I've got some questions lined up for her. I think you're going to really enjoy it.
Oh, I am looking forward to that. Hey, so boot camp, my favorite short. I would like to do that again without the mustache this time. That was terrible. That was not a good look for me.
That was the problem, was the mustache. What about that ridiculous outfit you had on?
Dude, I still feel that was a funny outfit.
Listen, the fact that you had the guts to wear spandex on, a nationally rated show.
Yeah.
I give you props.
But my favorite episode of the live shows that we did, it's really just a segment. If you remember, we told a story of a guy that was hiding out in a stadium, and he was living in the stadium, right? And we made the comment about he had the best TV going, right? Yeah, he had the big screen on the TV. Have you seen the latest Baker Mayfield commercial? At home with Baker Mayfield, where he lives in the stadium. He and his buddy are playing video games, and they're using the screen. They stole that straight from us. That was our material. They took it straight. I guarantee you, Baker's probably. I wish Baker would comment right now.
Somebody stole the Christmas caroling thing. And listen, I'm not to give away our next short, but you saw an introduction of a cast member of our next short when we came back from the bumper, and I was all by myself. But somebody stole that idea too. I think it was Bud Light.
Bud Light's already running with it. It's that was our idea in production. One of these days we're gonna learn to copyright something, but we haven't done it yet.
Yeah, I don't know. Hey, listen, shows aside,
okay,
let's just talk 2020 in general.
Okay.
2020, what was some of like the memorable events for you of 2020?
Oh man. I took some notes down here. Well, I mean, obviously, I'm going to steal one of yours because I read your notes already. But the World Series was a good event for us, man. I really did enjoy going to the World Series. Sorry.
Yeah, the World Series is obviously one of mine. Here's the crazy thing is like how that transpired was, as we're making the playoff run, and no stands in any stadiums for any of these games, even through the ALDS and the ALCS, no fans, and all of a sudden in the World Series we're going to get fans, and we knew the fans were coming in the World Series. I was like, man, I don't want to miss an opportunity. I mean, there's going to be no home games, right? Our team is going to be in the World Series, possibly in the World Series. I mean, and so like this idea had already started to float with me, and I was like, it just as it started to manifest, and the next thing you know, we're sitting around at my house, and I'm like, hey, so I'm going to go to the World Series this week. And you look at me and you're like, well, can I go?
Yeah. I mean, why not? A plane ride, that was what it takes. So,
yeah. Another memorable event for this is kind of a weird one, but dude, we kicked off COVID quarantine in March with the Tiger King.
And look, okay, did you really like the Tiger King, or was it just something that you passed the time? I feel like, for a lot of people, Netflix.
It was like a dumpster fire you can't stop watching.
Yeah, I think like an episode of Maury Povich. You can't.
You just couldn't turn away. Yeah, but the Tiger King.
See what the jet ski was about. I mean, if you could explain everything else in Tiger King except for that one scene with the guy on the jet ski, the Eye of the Tiger.
Yeah, that was pretty weird. That definitely was pretty weird.
Now I can't jet ski without singing Eye of the Tiger, by the way.
You have a jet ski?
No, but I feel like if I ever get back on one, And I'm gonna borrow TSG's wig to do it too, man.
That's one of those things I'm gonna let you buy. You know,
and then you're gonna borrow it,
and then I'm gonna borrow it. So, yeah. Any other memorable events for you for 2020?
Okay, so we talked about it a little bit, but I did get COVID, and I was isolated in the back of my house for 10 days, and that was an event, and I was stuck in a bedroom. I think the bedroom is like 11 by 12. There's a bed back there, and then it has a pocket door that you can secure from the rest of the house. Lisa puts beanbag chairs on the house side of the door, like she's barricading it from me opening it. She's like, "Hey, you're out. You have to stay over there." So I had that bedroom, I had a bathroom, and then I could go out to the patio, and that's where I lived for 10 days. And I'm gonna say that was different for me, just. Yeah, and so I didn't feel too bad. I was especially the last 5 days, it was really getting tiresome. But
yeah, and obviously I got COVID from you. Like, not like we were making out. I got COVID from you, but I got COVID from you, and so I went through a similar experience. And I will tell you, had I not had access to my pool deck, that you might have needed to put me on suicide watch. Like the walls came in really, really fast in that environment. And, I was in quarantine a day longer than you because I couldn't kick the fever. So you were 10 days, I was 11. And I finally kicked the fever, and it was like, oh. Now, the funny is, like, you and I vlogged our good experience. We've never published it, but that was kind of fun too, was to like a couple check-ins throughout the day for 10, 11 days of what was going on. But yeah, that was an experience.
Yeah. Well, I feel like if you're going to be in 2020 and everyone's talking about COVID, you might as well experience it. Kind of like the World Series. Everyone else is just watching it. We experienced it. So, we should get.
So are you suggesting COVID parties?
No, man, I can't say that. Don't. Maybe a badge that, like I survived COVID, or a patch.
I survived COVID. We should get T-shirts. Yeah.
We need to get T-shirts that say we put the herd in herd immunity.
There you go. We should get T-shirts. We're gonna have to ask Ashley in a minute where she got these T-shirts made at. We'll have to go and get some there.
Those are good T-shirts.
You can even slap the Man Event logo on them.
Yeah, I'm sure they can. Oh. So where else are we at here? We've got just a few minutes. We got Ashley coming in. She's probably knocking on the door right now, ready to come in. But we still got a couple things. We're gonna get to the Bucs or not? We don't have to cover that, dude. What kind of game was that, by the way? Where has that been all season?
That was what I expected all season.
Everybody expected.
That was what I expected all season, and that was crazy. Here's the thing, though, is like by late in the first half, it was boring. Like it wasn't fun anymore.
You get a touchdown, you get a touchdown, you get a touchdown. Blaine Gabbert, even you get a touchdown. I mean, come on.
Blaine Gabbert got two. Hey, by the way, Blaine Gabbert threw more touchdown passes in the second half of that game than Jameis Winston's thrown all season.
Wow. And no interceptions.
Listen, I will say this, and maybe when we get Polly on later in the show, we've also got a guest, a good friend of ours. I can't believe it's been this long and we haven't had Polly on yet, by the way. I know. But what kind of friends are we? So I want to talk playoffs with him maybe when we get him on in a little bit. But one of my questions is, how did the Lions even win 5 games?
Well, when they won their games, they had a coach. I mean, in fairness to the Lions, they didn't have a coach. They didn't even have a backup coach. They had the third string coach who's probably never called plays. He's running around with a tablet in his hand. I mean, head coaches don't carry a tablet. I don't know, man. He looked that guy. I don't even know who he is. He looked completely out of position. I think he just said, hey, Matt Stafford, just go out there and do what you do. And then the first series, Matt Stafford goes and he's like, boy, we're in trouble.
Yeah. But the reality is that you're supposed to squash the teams that need to be squashed.
Yeah, yeah.
And we've played some not so great teams this year that we did not put a hurting on like that. And in this league, when you play those teams, you got to squash them, Well, and, we played, yeah, and so first playoff appearance in like I don't know, was it like 14 years?
I think it's 12 years.
12 years since we've been in the playoffs. I'm looking excited. The team has the right momentum going into the playoff season too. And I we can talk about this a little bit later, but the question is, what happens next week? We got the Falcons again, who they played us a tough first half last week. Truthfully, since the second half of that game and all of that game against the Detroit Lions, we're probably the best team in football in those 6 quarters.
Okay, yeah, I'll buy that. We shut both those offenses down, and we scored a ton of points. We couldn't do anything. We couldn't do anything wrong.
Whoa.
Well, that's not true.
The kicker did miss a couple of kicks.
Dude, how about that, man? I mean,
so my question to you is, do we have to start standing again?
I think in the playoffs, I think every point counts. I think we're going to have to.
Okay. I mean, the guy missed 2 extra points and a field goal. Not that any of them mattered, but they said he hadn't missed a kick since like week 4.
Right.
And now all of a sudden, like, what happened? The guy's got the shakes.
And it was indoors. It's not like the weather was a problem.
Yeah. So,
hey, we're time specific. Let's get
yeah, you want to get Ashley in?
Let's see if she's out there. Yeah. Oh, there she is.
Hi, guys.
Hey. So listen, let me just reintroduce Ashley because we did pick up some new subscribers this week.
Sorry.
We did, So yeah. Ashley, you actually are our personal trainer, which is we blame you for the fact that we're still out of shape.
Yes, we're still fat. By the way, we're still fat.
She starred in the boot camp short that we talked about earlier. She also had a cameo in the last caroling that we did. She is the mean trainer, the one who slapped Pooh Bear. She is a friend of the main event. So Ashley, welcome to the show.
Thanks, guys. Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to become a regular member. I'm going to write a paper on it and why I should be.
A regular?
Yeah.
Is TSG gone? And
yes. Maybe a female point of view.
Oh, boy.
Listen, just so you know, it is called the man event.
Woman.
You have a couple of things prepared for Ashley here.
Oh, man. Ashley. Okay, well, listen, just a couple of quick questions for us. Okay, we'll just jump right into the big one, okay? Mm-hmm. Out of the two of us, which one is most likely to go into cardiac arrest during boot camp?
Whoa. These are my questions.
No, you said it.
I mean, I don't want to play favorites, but probably Cliff.
If I go down, it's over, I mean,
right. That's the issue. So when Brian came back from COVID, he was very clearly fatigued because it took attacks on his body. But I was actually concerned at one point because it's like we kind of really need Cliff here.
That's the thing. If I go into cardiac arrest, I got a medic.
Yeah.
If he goes into cardiac arrest, 911 better come fast.
Yeah. Well, they will for the chief. For the chief, they will.
You never know. So.
Maybe they'll sit in their truck.
B-Love 1, Cliff 0.
Okay.
So, Ashley, I feel like I need to make some New Year's resolutions.
Okay. You do, and you need, but this is the thing.
The one I made last year, so tell me, what makes a good New Year's resolution? What makes a bad New Year's resolution? Okay,
so
I think I'm doing wrong.
Yeah, let's talk about New Year's resolutions, though. So only 28% of Americans make New Year's resolutions.
Only 28% make them, or 20% keep them?
No, 28% of Americans make them. They no longer so people don't believe in doing it anymore. It's become pointless. It's become a pointless routine.
Okay.
Kind of like flossing. A lot of people don't floss anymore. You could say there's a big similarity. So 94% keeping for at least
on the Fortnite thing, because that's a ridiculous looking dance, that flossing thing they do on Fortnite. You know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about. Don't make me get Clifford in here to do the floss dance.
Oh, I know the floss. Okay,
yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I'm okay with people. Yes, that's the one. I'm okay with doing away with that one.
Okay, so 94% of people keep the goal at least for over a month. And then it drops for 6 months. 48% of that 28 that started actually continue on. And after a whole year, only 8% have actually completed their goal. And the reason...
Let me just stop you right there, because I want you to know, for nearly 10 years, I made a New Year's resolution that I kept without fail, and I kept it every year. No haggis. I ate no haggis for at least a decade. And honestly, even though it's not a resolution anymore, I still haven't eaten haggis.
What is haggis?
That you know what's lame about that? There's zero accountability in that.
What is haggis?
That's taking the high road.
Or the Highland, that's a joke. Haggis is a Scottish dish. It's like a bunch of garbage they put in a sheep's stomach and they boil it. Or yeah, I'm not eating that.
You're telling a vegetarian stuff that you wouldn't know.
Anyway, I didn't eat that. I kept it for a long time.
So the issue is people don't keep their goals SMART. You guys remember like when you were in elementary school and you started making goals and we had the acronym SMART: specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time bound. That's why people don't keep them. Essentially, people are too broad, like, oh, I'm going to eat healthy, or I'm going to join a boot camp, and I'm going to go to the boot camp, let's just say twice a week. And then they stop following those goals. I'm not pointing fingers at anyone, not Cliff at all, because it is Brian's boot camp now, essentially. You could just put that, you know what? If you want to put a cardboard cutout, put the cardboard cutout essentially at boot camp. That's where the cardboard cutout needs to be now, is at boot camp. Because, I mean, we've already set the dates for the week and you've already backed out, man.
It's definitely Brian's boot camp now.
It is Brian's boot camp.
He's
so sad.
We said the CNB and BNL or whatever it was, the dream team, and
CNB dream team.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so what I heard you say is be smart about your resolutions.
So be smart, be specific. So if your goal is to lose weight, how are you going to lose? It's like kind of like the who, what, when, where, and how. Like, what do you want to accomplish? Why is this your goal? And why is it important? Who do you need to involve to do it? So when I was running for 200 days, essentially to keep myself accountable, I posted on Facebook every single day. I posted myself running. I posted my route, how far I ran, and I made people on Facebook accountable. And that way they would check in at some point. You and Brian essentially try and keep each other accountable.
Well, he's got to be there. I mean, once it's set, once it's written in pen, then it counts.
Okay. And the watch is worn. Because if we don't wear a watch,
if you're not wearing the watch, the workout does not count. You might as well just go home.
That is
true. Get back in your car and just leave, because it didn't count anyway.
Right. So essentially, you want to make sure that you have a partner in crime in your goal. You want to be specific with your goal. So let's say I'm going to lose 15 pounds. Well, then you got to give yourself at least 4 months to do it. You got to say, I'm going to lose a pound a week. This is how I'm going to do it. I'm going to watch what I'm going to eat. I'm not going to drink sweet tea or diet sweet tea. Instead of having potato chips, I'm gonna have kale.
I'm not eating kale chips. Not gonna do it. Right now, I'm not doing it. See, that's the problem with these diet things. It's like, okay, they say here's the plan, and then there's something on that plan that I am absolutely not gonna eat.
Have you ever had kale?
I almost spit it out.
It's really good. No, let's say it's just about like swapping things out. So I really wanted potato chips tonight. I don't keep potato chips in the house because it's kind of like you can't just eat one, right? You can't just eat just one. Is that the Lay's, I think? So I have kale.
I just can't eat one bag. I need the whole bag.
Right. Or like Oreo cookies. I don't keep Oreo cookies in the house. I have like a little substitute or something, like it's about having healthy swaps. It's not about a diet. It's about like a way of life and a way that like you can keep yourself accountable, but you can stay on the track. And it can essentially your cheat day doesn't become your cheat week.
So
Cliff,
I read this about curing kale. This is legit. The question was, is it okay or should you like prepare kale with like a little olive oil?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you know why? That makes it easier to slide off the pan into the trash.
I knew you were going to do this stupid thing again. You've already
all
said.
right, actually,
How do you do
I
that?
got a question. I got a question for you. This
Play
is
nice. Play nice.
of the two of us, me and Chief. Which one of us is most likely to sustain an injury at boot camp?
Oh, are we talking about over the past year? Okay, so we've had broken ribs by Cliff. We've had a broken a finger or a pinky or something. We've had an unconscious. You've been like hit in your head. You've. I mean, you had the big. He came to boot camp having like a head injury, feeling dizzy and woozy.
Oh yes, that's right.
Yes, and I was really. I checked in with him several times.
You had the inner ear thing.
What?
Remember when you had that inner ear thing? You went to the doctor and they were like, "That's why you're feeling dizzy."
Yes.
You've had COVID. I mean, the only thing Brian has had since I've known you guys for like 5 years, COVID. Brian's had COVID. You've had your whole arm in a sling at one point. You ripped your bicep. You tore your bicep.
He's had knee surgery.
Yeah, your knee, your calf.
His back.
Your back's not right.
I find it amazing that I've been able to push through all of that, and I'm still there.
You know what I find amazing is when our other lady boot camper.
Oh, he also had cancer. We forgot.
Yeah, the big C. No, I said the big C. He's the big C. I do find it entertaining when Stacy, who's I don't want to give her age, but she's a couple years older than you, can do laps around you and find like sunshine and positivity, and you're like, it's my age. And I always look to Stacy.
She's doing a Donna.
Oh man!
Every rep is being done there. So
all right. I got a question for you. This one's gonna be one to help Chief feel a little bit better. Who is most likely to win the second round?
Cliff, but then he peters.
Second round.
Cliff's round. Second round is Cliff's round.
I own the second round.
But you then go out too fast. You sprint, you race against Chase, and then you are so burnt out. You are so burnt out.
It is a bad decision to race her every time.
Every time. Because she's racing for something. She is racing for something.
Yeah, well, I'm wheezing. I mean, no, that's no doubt. That's no lie. So, oh, man.
So what are your goals? What are your New Year's Eve resolution? Is it exercise, saving money, eating healthy, weight loss? What are they?
I mean, all of those things sound good.
But that's too broad. Remember, we just
I will say this. Ashley, in true all seriousness, I was having this conversation with the Chief earlier today, and I told him it is time to tell you we need to kick it up a notch.
I thought you were joking. Oh my gosh.
So do you remember? I don't even know if you guys remember. Last Christmas, you gave me a Visa gift card, and attached to it was a Spartan logo. We have yet to do. I understand COVID happened and hit, but we haven't done.
That's not our fault.
I'm not saying it's your fault, but like they are doing race. There's some things are opening again.
That's kind of what I had in mind. Whether Spartan opens up and there's some races we can do or whatever, we need to start training like we're training for a Spartan.
Which means we need to include burpees every time.
Whoa. Nobody talked about the weather.
But burpees are in Spartans once you can't handle an obstacle.
Nobody complained about it being,
if we do a Spartan, which I'm actually not vetoing a Spartan. We do a Spartan, we need to have 3 GoPro cameras. And we need to put that together because I'm telling you, there is gold in that.
Here's
of the 3 of it, I think I'm the only one that completed the monkey bars last time.
Out of everyone, I'm the only one who did the rope last time.
But nobody's talking about the rope. We were talking about
This is like you jumped as high as you could on the rope and then slid back down.
I got a good 1 or 2.
There's a picture. I wish I had that right now.
See, that's what I'm talking about. We need GoPro cameras because if I'm being filmed, I'm going to give it more effort than if I'm not.
So here's an idea for a short. Why don't you do like a pre-Spartan, like in your backyard or in someone's yard? Set it up and do like a pre-Spartan.
Ooh, we could do it at the Vita course.
Yeah, the Vita course or like your monkey bars at your park. You could do the kids' monkey bars on the slide, run up the slide, do the monkey bars.
I like that idea.
Down the basketball
in all
court.
seriousness, we're ready to kick it up and act like we're at least training for a Spartan.
So Brian, I believe you. And the words are coming out of your mouth. Cliff?
Are you waiting for me?
Put up or shut up. Put up or shut up.
Look, I am willing to put the effort in. I really am. I need my knee to hold out. And
your pinky. My pinky's still not the same.
It's still not right. I'm telling you, it is not right. But all right, I am in. But look, my goal. Let's just talk about my goals, and let's talk about how much harder I'm going to work here. So I'm going to the Grand Canyon in June.
Right. I wasn't invited.
No. Because I'm not walking up the canyon. Okay, I'm not walking up the canyon, but you got to be under 200 to ride the donkey up and down. Ooh. Yeah. So we're going to give that a go. We're going to give that a go.
There's no way I can make that.
Well, the good news is the donkey's already sold out. So, I mean, it's really just a goal. It's not really something we're going to do. They have helicopters for that other stuff.
Okay.
So
I'm going on the same trip.
Yeah.
When is this trip again?
June 10th, I think. June 10th. So 6 months. So working on Ashley's numbers there of a pound a week. How many weeks? 30. I can do it.
What are you going to give up?
Apparently my dignity. I don't know. I mean, it's
not your humility.
I would love to lose. I would love to lose 25 or 30 pounds by then.
But that's the thing is, like, you guys, you have done it, and I've seen you guys lose
I wonder how
the weight.
many pounds my beard is.
Right. Your beard needs to stay, my man. That's
it's a piece of you. Yeah, you got to keep the beard. You got to keep the beard. The only person who has to get rid of facial hair is Cliff. I do agree with that comment. I mean, the Cliff Clavin jokes with the it looked bad.
Yeah,
I'm glad it's gone.
That was when I looked in the mirror, I was like, man, I'm rocking this thing.
Yeah, and that's the thing. No one can tell you differently. No one can tell you differently. So I think for 2021, you don't go back to that. That's a good resolution. Like stay firm, no facial hair. You can keep that. Let's try and keep your health in check. No injuries for 2 months. I think that's attainable and doable. No injuries. Don't tackle a kid.
It just happens. So, all right. So we have goals. We're going to be smart about our goals. We're going to think about a Spartan. We got to buy GoPros first. So that's a job. We can't do a Spartan until we get GoPros. That's going to be the linchpin on that, I believe.
Okay.
I think Pooh Bear already bought some.
You do realize GoPros pick up sound, Brian. That one is directed at you.
They don't have GoPro, smell a GoPro.
I think she's making a reference to that I might fart.
That's exactly.
And somehow I'm behind you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Listen, that's called crop dusting.
Yeah. Thank you for that. You're trying to slow me down. I got it.
Cliff was like, my mouth was open.
Yes. Famous words. See, these are things I should put on a shirt as well.
That was
on the shirt. That was a good one.
All right.
Man, I think we're out of time. We got Paulie knocking on the door.
No worries.
Ashley, thanks for joining us. We will see you on Wednesday. Oh, I will say this to all of our hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of listeners right now. If you want to join B-Love and Chief for boot camp,
yes,
the Chief is going to cover your first week.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Send us an instant message, a DM, whatever it is. We'll get you into boot camp.
Yeah. The more the merrier.
Ashley, thanks for joining us.
No worries. Always, guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah.
See ya.
Bye.
Hey, I'm just saying, most likely to go into cardiac arrest.
Yep.
But you'll always have the second round, Chief.
Dude, we are going to suffer on Wednesday. She is going to make us suffer.
Yeah. You got to start somewhere, man.
Yeah. All right.
You got to start somewhere. All right. You ready to bring in the next guest?
Oh, come well, hold on. I thought we got a little segue into this. We were going to do like the 5 things that people regret buying.
Yes. Yeah. I apologize.
So, I mean, I did all this research on this stuff, man. I hate to just throw it out there, but
bring it.
So, look, I'm going to say it right now. The one thing that people are going to regret buying at right now, gym memberships. Sorry, Ashley, but
they're going to regret buying gym memberships.
And it's the same every year, man. You can't if you're a regular in the gym, you don't go in January because it's packed. You got your the 28%. I don't know if you got number 28% from. I'm sure they'll interbred.
I always hate this time of the year at the gym because it is packed.
You can't
get waiting for all of those people to go back to wherever they came from.
Yeah, you can't. But they're gone by February. By Valentine's Day, it's over. So those guys if they sign a contract, are locked into it, they're going to regret that. Okay. The number two thing people are going to regret, and I think a lot of people are doing this right now because of COVID, they're buying boats. And boats, number one, are expensive. Number two, they require a lot of work. And then they're even more expensive because there's a lot of maintenance on a boat.
Listen, we had a long-standing Sunday conversation about what work you had done to your boat that week. It lasted like 6 or 7 weeks.
Yeah. Hey, it's finally ready. It's ready, and now I can't. The weather's terrible. So yeah, there you go. The next thing people are going to regret buying in 2020, investment property. For some reason, I've been watching this stuff, and the numbers are sky high on investment property. I mean, I get the fact that rates are super low, and you can afford more than you could have. But I mean, if everybody has a piece of investment property, they don't need yours. So I think that's going to be a mistake. The last two things I have on my list for things that people regret buying in 2020, number 4 or 2, I guess not number 2, overpriced backyards. Everybody is locked into their house. They're financing these, backyards that can cost over $100,000. I get it. You see it on TV. It looks fun. It looks fantastic, but the newness wears off, and you're still got to make that payment.
Yeah. Hey, listen, I invested in mine, right? I remodeled the pool in 2020. I just bought a new outdoor Kamado Joe.
But you didn't spend $100,000 on it. I'm not saying,
and I paid cash for it.
Yeah. So. Absolutely. You don't invest in that. That's not an investment. That's something that you can buy. You have it. I just bought a fire pit. That's what Lisa and I gave each other for Christmas this year, a little fire pit, and a couple of chairs, it was $100,000 for everything. So, I'm not saying, people are not going to enjoy their space. You absolutely, but don't overpay for it. And that's what these people are doing. Okay. Last thing. And this is something that our next guest can help us with, guys. Cars, overpriced cars. I think, this is let's find out. Is this the time of year to buy a car or not?
I'm really excited for this segment. Not just because this is a great friend of ours and we don't get to spend a whole lot of time with him, but he's going to bring us some massive insight. So on to the show. Let's welcome Mr. Paul Richardson.
Hey, boys.
Hey, let me just give you a little introduction here, by the way. So a friend of the Man Event for approximately 25 years. I couldn't really come up with the exact date, so we're just going to go circa,
Yeah, 1996. So, 24 years, boys.
I was close.
Wow.
Okay. You are the business management. You're the business developer manager for a luxury car dealership. So, you understand what it takes to buy a car, how to purchase a car, the ins and outs of it, right?
Yes.
And just so people understand exactly who we're talking to here, I have beat him in every game that we played in fantasy football this year. And he is also the retired, unofficial Blues softball team manager. So keep your shoulder up, boys.
Well, look, it is great to be here with you boys. Y'all are doing a hell of a job with this show, peeking in, and it's great to see both of you. I wish Pooh Bear and the rest of your crowd were here, but it's awesome. And I watched your segment with Ashley, and yes, it is. Your list is duly noted, but actually, Cliffy, it is a great time. Even in COVID, the one caveat to this is the inventory levels, and I don't care if it's Ford, Chevrolet, Kia, Hyundai, Lexus, Mercedes, BMW. The inventory is down, but the deals are as good as as they've ever been.
So let me ask you a question about the deals, Paulie.
Okay.
So I'm there and I've done my homework. I'm ready to negotiate. I know Blue Book value. I know my register. And then the guy disappears. The salesman disappears to the guy in the back. Okay.
Yes.
The guy in the back never comes forward. Is the guy in the back, is he for real? Is he a computer, or is that just you guys having a coffee break? Making the guy sweat. I mean, what's going on? What's really happening
In some instances, that guy is real. In some instances, depending on where you work, who you work for, the brand, the dealer principal, sometimes that salesman sitting across from you is paid based on what you buy the car for. In some instances, it is his job to get you to pay the most. It's their job to get you to the finance manager, who's going to get you to pay a spread, levels in the mortgage business, and they make their money on what the bank says that they buy versus what you get. In the car business, it is exactly the same. So you're
telling me that guy's legit. He's not some monster chained to a desk. It's a real person back there, and you guys aren't just drinking coffee, high-fiving each other for how much you're going to stick it to.
Absolutely not. But I will tell you this: if you get to that guy, you've gotten a good deal, because if the salesman cannot close you, or the general sales manager can't close you, or if the finance manager can't close you, if you see a new car manager or a GSM or a GM, in the back of your mind, you've gotten all you're going to get.
That's good information right there. So if you get to the GM,
so just keep shaking your head until the GM gets out there.
Well, and a lot of times it depends on the nature of the GM, the size of the dealership. If you're selling 500-600 cars a month, you're never going to see the GM. But if you're a medium-sized dealer, even like I said, it doesn't matter the brand. It doesn't matter, what the emblem is. If you get to the guy past the salesperson, then you're making some traction. You're making some traction.
All right. Okay, so I show up at the dealership and test drive. Is that got to be like the first thing? That's your first hook in them, isn't it? Get them behind the wheel, get them loving it. There's got to be a horror story.
Yeah. So
I want to hear the other. Tell us about the horror story, man.
So the horror stories are you get.
Let's get some test
obviously
you're wrong.
Oh gosh. So we've had everything from. We've had a local race car driver take one of our cars, actually 600 horsepower, and end up with the police and a $500,000 car impounded for 2 days that you couldn't sell. So right down here in Charlotte, all the way from people running off the road. We've had cars stolen. We had a salesman last year on a $110,000 LX. A guy pushed him down and stole a car right out of our parking lot. We have people that broke into our shop and stole customer cars. And so, yes, all those things that you hear about and read about, they're so true. And then you get the 85-year-old that's really shouldn't be driving, run somebody off the road. I've been run off the road. So it's all those things are absolutely true.
Do you go with them on the test drive, or do you just give them the keys and hope they come back?
No, so normally you would, but obviously in COVID times, you've got to have a lot of trust, because obviously there's nowhere in any car, and I don't care if you buy a Tahoe XL, a Suburban, a Mercedes GL, Lexus LX, whatever you buy, you cannot be 6 feet away from that person. And, a normal test drive, if you're going to buy, and I don't care what you buy, you want somebody to drive it more than 5 minutes. So, I don't know, do you want to be cooped up with somebody that you don't know that well and don't know where they've been for 20 minutes inside of a car? So we take a driver's license and, you take a picture of their license and put them on a tag and send them on their way and hope they come back with your car.
What's like the longest somebody went on a test drive?
So we had, so in our dealership, we do a couple of things. We write a permit for an hour or 2 hours, but we've had people that have taken our car and said, hey, can I show it to my wife? And we've had to send a search party after people. Keep the car the next day. We had a guy that took one of our service loaners. We got a call about 3 months ago during the pandemic. He got a ticket on the New York Turnpike dropped his car off in North Carolina in service and got stopped on the New York Turnpike. Our owner sent one of our valet people all the way to New York to get our car back. So, yeah. So all those.
I have an idea. I know where we're going to save some money this summer.
Yeah.
But, we're not going to rent a car. We're going to show up at the, the dealership and say, hey.
At the dealership in we're flying to Denver, right?
No,
I was going to say, are y'all
Flagstaff.
Yeah.
So you're flying into Flagstaff. So yeah, you just show up at Flagstaff at the biggest Chevrolet dealership and with your driver's license in hand and tell the guy, look, you want to look at a Suburban XL, just like what we rented going to Breckenridge that time, Cliffy, and then 4 days later bring his car back with 1,200 miles on it. So,
I'm going to go Lexus and tell him, hey, here's what Paulie sent me. Here's his card. And that was good for a 2-day drive.
That's exactly right. I mean, what are they going to do? So, but yeah, it's so yeah. But in normal, yeah, you're going to go with them, and because obviously, people they're going to have questions. Once you get somebody in a car, they're going to want to know if they haven't had our brand before, they haven't had a luxury brand before. They're going to want to know safety features. What does it do? What does the stereo do? How do you preset the radio? Blind spot monitor, parking sensors. They're going to want to know all the safety stuff. So, but now you kind of go over that with them in the showroom.
You really
and
want to know that, or you just guys tell them that because you have to. They really want to know two things. They want to know how fast it's going to go, and then potentially, how fast it can stop.
That's exactly right.
They want to know, man. They want to drive it like they stole it, whether you're in it or not. Hey, so let me ask you about trade-in value. I mean, that seems like a big gift to me. You can sit there and look at Kelly Blue Book value. I don't even know if that's legit. I think you guys are all in cahoots with that thing too, man. And
so, Kelly Blue Book is the worst thing that has ever been created as far as the dealer goes. So because it's very subjective, and remember, Kelly Blue Book's never bought a car. So its values right now are so high though, but the consumer knows that. It's just like Carfax and Black Book Detail, NADA. If you want a real value on your car, go to NADA and find out what the banks, and Brian's in the banking business, what the bank is going to loan. So because that way you avert a lot of arguments. Because if I go to somebody and say, Cliff, your 2015 Toyota Tundra is worth $26,000 because that's what the bank said they'll loan on it. Well, if a dealer says, hey, I'm only going to pay you $22,000 on it, then they're trying to steal your trade. But if the dealer says, hey, I'm going to give you $25,500 because I'm going to have to put brakes and tires on it because you haven't, because you're going to trade it, which is what everybody does. You're not going to bring me a car that you've just put brakes and tires on in the last 6 months. You're going to bring me one with bald brakes and bald tires.
Yeah, I'm doing burnouts in my truck on the way to the dealership if I'm going to trade it.
Well, of course you are. Listen, typically on the trade-in scene right now, if it's our brand, I'm going to pay more for it than anybody else in town is. If you're going to trade my Lexus at Mercedes or BMW or Audi, then I'm going to pay you more for it because I've got a better outlet for it. But if it's anybody else's car, or if it's older than 5, 6, 7 years, depending, and if you're in Brandon, Florida, Tampa, Florida, Jacksonville, Winston-Salem, North Carolina, everybody's going to pay within $500 of everybody else. The age of the internet today does not allow a dealer to steal a trade anymore. 20 years ago, yes, but now, no way. No way. People are too smart. And we don't have time to mess. We don't have time to hound somebody over the trade.
So what's a good, so let me ask you that. Okay, I've heard a lot of different strategies out there. The guy walks up to your desk and he's like, listen, man, I don't need to hear the story. And I'm not here. I'm a cash buyer. That's not me, by the way. But someone comes in and says, look, I'm a cash buyer. He drops down, a big sack of cash. Is that impressive to you? Or are you like, nah, this guy, he's not going to bully me around with a bag?
No, we love cash buyers because they're the most serious. I mean, a guy that shows up with a bag full of cash is going to buy something, and you've got one shot at him, so you better take your best swing at him. So,
so you actually like that. Okay.
So you're saying you're going to roll out your best deal to that cash.
Absolutely. Well, I mean, that's your, just like in your business, the best prospect is the one in front of you. And a man shows up with $25,000 in a Samsonite suitcase, and I better be sure that he gets my every opportunity.
What about the guy who says? What about the guy who comes in? He's like, hey, this is what I want to pay for. Take it or leave it. I'm going to walk.
Well, if this time of year, since we're talking about end of the year, if there's any sunlight in the deal at all, we're taking it.
So this is a good time of year, though. The end of the year, those commercials aren't joking around. They're really to make a deal.
And it's crazy how the car business the industry has totally evolved. 25 years ago, the winter was never a good time, and then all of a sudden, advertising and marketing people said, "We've got a captive audience. We've got people at the end of the year. We've got transition models." So there are still some manufacturers, Kias and Hyundais and Fords and Chevrolets. You can go find a 2020 on their lot right now that you can get 12, 15 grand off for.
Hey,
but if you don't want a 2020,
if I show up in your deal, if I come on December 24th and buy a car from you, are you guys going to put one of those big bows on it?
Absolutely.
How many of those do you have in the place? You got like
we've got about 30, and we let people take them and take pictures with them, and they use them for Christmas cards, and all those gimmicks do work.
So that's legit, huh?
That is totally legit. Sure.
Holly, so I'm buying a car in December. You're getting let's say it's this year. You're getting a deal on the 2020, not the 2021.
Both.
Okay, both. Okay.
So, obviously everybody knows about depreciation. Well, a lot of people know about depreciation. In my car, if the model has not changed, and let's take this car that you're familiar with, an ES 350. If that car is the same for 20 and 21, you would expect to pay $4,000 or $5,000 less for a 20 just off sheer depreciation. The trick is, do I have the color and trim level that you want? In a 21, there may be 25 or 30 sitting at any given lot. The 2020s, you may end up with 5 or 6, and if you're not absolutely specific about color and trim level, you're going to get a little
what about
better.
CPOs? What about certified pre-owns?
So certified pre-owned takes, remember this: every pre-owned car is unique to that car. I mean, you can go out tomorrow and you can go to Brandon Ford and find 17 F-250 Lariat editions, but a 2016 with 21,000 miles Lariat that's red with tan interior is one of one. So CPO is a profit center for the dealer, especially if you're selling your own brand, because you're the only one that can certify it to that specific, if you found a Ford at a Chevrolet dealership, he can't certify it like the Chevrolet dealership can, or vice versa.
So we're running short on this segment here. Let me ask you probably the last question I think we have time for here.
Okay. All right.
Okay. So the guy walks in and he's a lease guy. When you see a guy who wants a lease, are you like going, "Doggone it, man, I'm not going to sell this guy a car," or are you excited to see from your
lease customers?
You like lease customers, okay?
Well, because a lot of times people lease cars in their business. B, the bigger issue is the most popular product in the lease portfolio right now is 3 and 4 years. So what I like is a guy that comes in and pays cash for a car. If that guy follows a trend like you do, Cliff, or like a lot of people, I may not see that guy for 5 or 6 years, period, or 8 years or 10 years. I mean, for a while, you were buying cars every 10 years.
That's not a while. That's how I do it, every 10 years.
Yeah. And so you're not great for the car business. But that lease customer, remember, he's got to make a decision every 2 or 3 years.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
And so I have a chance every 2 years. Now, that doesn't mean he's going to stay with me, but I've got some sort of chance at that guy every 2 to 3 years. So
you have customers, like repeat customers, you actually know who they are? I couldn't tell you who sold me my car. I mean,
I've been in the business now. This is my 14th year, and I've got some customers that are over 20 cars with just me. I mean, I've got people that trade every 6 to 8 months still to this day.
Wow, that's insane.
That's crazy. That's crazy to me there.
That's
And then you sell the husband
of money that I got in my pocket, Chief.
Yeah, that's not for me, but I'm not Winston-Salem money, so
Well, hey, Paul, you stick around and talk football with us a little bit?
Absolutely, love to.
All right. So Chief, let's get into the picks, and then I want to talk a little bit about the playoff situation.
Okay.
So do you have last week's picks?
I do. I got them right here. Okay, so we picked 4 games last week, and we went Dolphins, Raiders, and I looked into my crystal ball, and I am the only one that said Raiders, and the Raiders put up a solid showing, but they came in second. So I really didn't see them losing, but anyway, so and then we all stood tall on the Ravens against the Giants, and we were all correct. So there we go on that.
I'm 2-0.
Well, everyone's 2-0 but me right now. I mean, you, TSG, and Pooh Bear. Okay, this is where we start changing it out a little bit because we had the Panthers that played the Washington football team. Hold on a second. Do we have the final on that?
Yeah.
What you could talk to me, Paulie?
Yeah. So Carolina, I think it was 20-6. So
Carolina won.
Yeah. So that really kind of puts a bugger on the NFC East because the Cowboys have beaten the wheels off the Philadelphia Eagles 37-17. That went final. So, but Washington holds the tiebreaker. So that division's a mess. And listen, anybody in that division, it doesn't matter. I mean, somebody is going to win that NFC East, but they're not going to. None of those teams are any good.
Right. Well, so let me say this. Because this actually hurts me to say, and I'm glad he's not here because Pooh Bear is the only one that picked the Panthers. So
really,
yeah, going into our
picked the Panthers just to be different.
He did pick, but you know what? It worked for him. You know, he picked the Panthers, and so going into the final game was Colts and Steelers. We had a split on that, and the Steelers
came back and beat them today.
The Steelers came back and won, which knocks Pooh Bear away from being undefeated because Pooh Bear and TSG both picked the Colts. B-Love, you and I went for the Steelers. So quick math, looks to me that we've got a couple of people at 3-1 here, or 2-2. So no wig of shame this week, mainly because TSG's not here.
As I say, if TSG was here, we would make them wear it.
All right, so let's do our picks this week, and then how about we have Paulie?
We gonna let Paulie pick for Pooh Bear?
Yeah, absolutely. Paulie absolutely gets a pick for Pooh Bear, and then TSG automatically gets the team that loses.
All right.
Okay.
Okay. That sounds like a great plan. All right. So first game up is the Dolphins and the Bills.
And this is at the Bills.
Yes, Dolphins at Bills. Yep.
Man.
Yeah. The problem is right now, is it Fitzmagic or is it Tua? It's going to be the quarterback. So
I don't know if it matters right now, Paulie. They're playing good football.
Yeah, but the Bills at home in that weather. I mean, remember the Dolphins train in that weather. So if I'm picking for Pooh Bear, I'm picking the Bills right now.
All right, so we got Pooh Bear goes with the Bills. Look, I'm going to go ahead and go with the Bills as well. So.
But remember, the Dolphins are Pooh Bear's favorite team, so he's not going to pick the Bills. So
you want to change his? You want to change his pick?
Yeah, put him down for the Dolphins because he'll
Pooh Bear
get some nasty
Dolphins.
Text message or something if I.
Chief, I'm going to go with the Bills. I think that they're a great football team. They're playing really well. To your point, they are playing at home in the cold. The Dolphins don't survive that.
No.
Yep.
Okay, how about this one? We got two teams that are both terrible. We had the Vikings at the Lions.
All right, so I put this one in Vikings at the team single-handedly beaten by.
Yeah.
Yeah. Vikings for sure there. That's because the Lions, they were curb stomped by your what Brady throw like 7 touchdowns or something. That's crazy last week.
He only threw 4, but
4 touchdowns and one half of football, nearly 400 yards.
Yeah.
But then was it Gabbert that came in and threw a touchdown or something?
I think he threw 2. Yeah, he threw 2 touchdowns. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm going to go with the Vikings because 2 bad teams, one of them still has Dalvin Cook.
Yes.
Wow.
Probably the MVP this year, boys.
Guys, I'm going Lions. I am going to go. If there's any pride at all left in that team, if there's any pride at all, they're playing at home. It's the last game of the season. That's all they got left. I'm going Lions.
Wow.
And,
I see the logic behind it. Oh.
It doesn't always work, though. So we'll see, man. Okay.
Right. Next game we got is the Washington football team at the Eagles.
usually that will have huge NFC implications. But I think that obviously Washington is both of these teams are coming off of a terrible showing today, but Philadelphia still has the division to play for. So, and I think the Philadelphia Eagles have found their quarterback. I don't know what they're going to do with Wentz next year at $26 million against the cap, but Jalen Hurts probably the future. So the Eagles, I think they win that football game.
Pooh Bear picks the Eagles.
I'm going to go with the Washington football team.
I want to go with the Washington football team too, and I have no idea why, because Paul's argument is so much better than anything I can come up with. Yeah. But I'm gonna go with Washington.
You're root for the underdog. You're still wanting to root for Alex Smith. Yes. I think I've picked Washington every week that they've been a choice because of that.
Yeah, well,
good comeback story for sure.
And then the last game, this will be a great game, is the Steelers at the Browns. If you'd have told me the Browns were going to be good at football this year, I'd have called you a liar.
Yes.
Well, you got to remember they've had the first draft pick the last 4 years, so and I mean, at some point they're gonna,
it's got to pay off.
Phoenix out of the ashes, but Pittsburgh handles them next week. Trust me. Pittsburgh.
You know what would have been even better is if we'd have let Ashley pick for TSG.
Wow. Yes. Okay.
All right. So who do you got? Who did you pick for Pooh Bear?
Steelers.
He went Steelers.
Okay. I'm going to go with the Browns. It's a home game for the Browns. I think the Steelers are struggling a little bit. I know they had a comeback win today, but I think the Browns will have a strong showing, and I got them.
The only thing that changes is I think now that both I know the Steelers are, and I think the Browns are. I have to check my notes, but they're both in the playoffs. So you get to these week 17 and week 18, and who rests? Does Big Ben rest? Does Juju Smith rest? I mean, so. But I think that if there's anything to play for,
now, Ben is playing hurt, so there's a good chance he doesn't play on Sunday.
Even so, if it means a home playoff game, they'll still have a lot to play for. I still think they beat the Browns.
The Steelers have not had a bye week this year. Their bye week was taken away because of COVID. They just came off that crazy schedule where they played like 3 games in 10 days. I think you're right. The Steelers are in the playoffs. They know they're in. They're going to take this as a bye week. They're going to rest essentially everyone that they can. And I think the Browns are going to take it to them. Even though I think if this were a playoff game, if we were playing with all their starters, it would be the Steelers. I'm just guessing that they're going to use this as their bye week and they're going to rest a bunch of guys. I think the Browns do it.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you kind of used a good segue going into maybe like the last thing we talk about here. And I know we're running a little over time, but, we all made predictions about the Bucs coming into the season. I believe I said that they would be 10-6.
Yeah.
They sit at 10-5 right now. And the reality is they're going to play an Atlanta team on Sunday that has nothing to lose.
No, but that kicker – the kicker from Atlanta missed a game-tying field goal, and he's going to the Pro Bowl this year. But the Buccaneers have still got a lot to play for. So I can't see Atlanta getting up for that. So hopefully Brady goes in there and handles business.
The thing to me is I was going to say, do they sit Brady? I think they can improve. I don't know that they can improve their playoff spot. Or who they're going to play on. I could be wrong, but it's like Atlanta's in a situation where, like, listen, we all are horrible golfers, but do you know how on the 18th fairway you always have your best drive?
Oh yeah.
Right, and you love walking off the 18th fairway after playing a miserable round of golf because it's like always your best hole. It's always your best drive. That is the way Atlanta wants to feel after a dismal season on Sunday. And I just don't think the Bucs have anything to play for. I think you could see Atlanta beat them on Sunday.
I think you're right. We could see Atlanta win, but nobody needs momentum more than Tampa Bay does. We have not played great, And if for no other reason, these guys need to come out and they need to take a lead in the first half, come out strong. If you want to sit in the second half, even if it costs us the game, because the second string guys can't play on par with the first, I'm okay with that. But, we have got to come out and show that we can win. This is look, the Falcons, their record doesn't show how good of a team they are. They are a better team than the record actually says.
They've had some heartbreak this year for sure. They did. Today included.
Yeah. So, this is a team that we need to beat, and nobody needs to beat it more than the defense does. This defense needs to come out and shut down. Did Julio Jones play today? Anyone know?
No. Hamstring. He won't play next week now.
Well, that's good for us.
And I think, Chief, to your point on that momentum thing, the momentum in the NFL in December matters.
It absolutely
sure
does.
I think the Bucs have a tough decision to make because it would kill you to see some of these key guys go down in the last week of the season instead of protecting them for the playoffs. But I think with the way that they've played this season, they've got to go all out on Sunday.
They haven't earned a bye week. They haven't earned that extra bye week, in my opinion. They need to come out and play, and for sure play a first half, get the lead, and know that they can do it. Come playoffs. Yeah,
I would agree.
Absolutely.
All right, well, gentlemen, we are out of time. It's been great. I will tell you, man, cannot wait to get TSG and Pooh Bear off my back. Holy cow, they are heavy. Carrying them.
Well, listen, thank you, boys, for having me on. It's been great. Y'all continue success, and anytime, let me know. I'll be glad to fill in. So.
Yeah, we would love
it. All right.
Thanks for coming in. So, Chief, I guess it's time for us to say goodnight. If you've enjoyed the show with us, thanks for joining us. Don't forget to like, to subscribe, to share what you see here on all your social media platforms. On behalf of the rest of the guys, Be Love and Chief, we're out.